when we talk about emotional fireworks, our mood can be like a firework where there's some trigger, or somebody pushed your button, or somebody struck a chord in your body, in your mind, from your past, from a trauma that ignited some type of flame, some type of emotional flame, some type of firework in you and just got you going. That happens, right? I mean, that's what a firework is. The firework is just chilling, right? It's nice and boxed in. It's calm. There's nothing happening with the firework. Here go a flame, right? And all of a sudden the firework just explodes. And sometimes we can get that way. Unlike fireworks, we don't have to explode. Welcome to Journey to Joy Live, a podcast to promote wellness, resilience, and joy while promoting mental health awareness and breaking down the stigma of mental illness in the Black community. I'm your host, Dr. Enjoy, and today I bring to you episode 53, Emotional Fireworks. And it is Happy Independence Day, 4th of July. I said I was going to go live, whether it's going to be 11:59, I was going to go live today. So here we are while there are fireworks in the background. And I figure a great topic for today would be emotional fireworks. Because when you think of our emotions sometimes it can be like fireworks. So we're going to get into that. And of course, Atlanta always has our lovely Peachtree Road race every 4th of July. So it is the only race I know about where the T-shirt is the medal. So I'm wearing my medal. You get your T-shirt at the end of the race. It is the largest 10K in the whole entire world. It's usually about 50 to 60,000 people. Today was about 43,000 people, and it was absolutely fabulous. It is a 10K that starts at one location and runs 6.2 miles down and finishes in Midtown Atlanta. So it is like the best race as far as crowd support. And I've been up since, I want to say 5 a.m. I wanted to wake up at 5 a.m., but we kind of slept in. So anyway, we were at the hotel at the start line because that's what we do. We slept in, but that's all right. We were at the start line. So we made it there on time and had a very busy day. In fact, just got home from watching the fireworks at one of the stadium parks that does fireworks on the field. And I'm here right now with you while you're watching the fireworks. It may not be listening to me live, but you're going to listen later. And I appreciate you. All right. So when we talk about emotional fireworks, our mood can be like a firework where there's some trigger or somebody pushed your button in your body, in your mind, from your past, from a trauma that ignited some type of flame, some type of emotional flame, some type of firework in you and just got you going. That happens, right? I mean, that's what a firework is. The firework is just chilling, right? It's nice and boxed in. It's calm. It's nothing happening with the firework. Here go a flame, right? And all of a sudden the firework just explodes. And sometimes we can get that way. Unlike fireworks, we don't have to explode when someone tries to light our fire. But sometimes it feels like we have to explode when we've been triggered, or we have to explode when there's some type of ignite that gets to us and we have to react to it, like the cause and effect. But where emotional regulation comes in, that it tells us, well, you know what? As long as we can regulate our emotions, we don't have to react and act a certain way. Let's take running, for instance. Running is definitely a situation where we need to have controlled breathing, controlled motions, controlled pace, and really think about and have the mindfulness necessary to get through it. You have to be physically strong for it, right? In order to get through running, as well as being emotionally and mentally strong to get through a run. And usually there's you can't always expect or predict what the race route is going to be like or what the route is going to be like that you're running. It might be hilly, there might be ups, there might be downs, there might be what seems like a roller coaster of a hill. And that's exactly what Atlanta is like when you're running Atlanta. For people who are used to running a flat course, when they come to Atlanta, it's like, oh, whoa, I did not know this hill was here. And the way the Peachtree race route is, it's pretty much downhill for the first 3 miles. And when you hit mile three, or at the end of mile three, you reach what we call Cardiac Hill, and it's a steep hill, and you can choose to walk it, attack it and jog it, or run it or sprint it, and it keeps going up and it levels out a little bit, and then it goes as soon as you thought like, "Oh, I'm done. This wasn't that bad," it gets even steeper and keeps going up. So what do some people do? Some people, like I said, walk. They may slow, they may stop and take a break, or they may run through it, and hopefully no one stops and goes the other way. But in running, you have to make sure that you're just ready for any up that you might experience. And even if there's a race that's consistently downhill, that can be an effect on your body as well. So sometimes it's nice having those race routes that goes up and down because you grow from it and you learn from it and you're able to get through it. And once you get through it, it feels great to cross that finish line. So how do we relate that to our emotions? Well, life has ups and downs. Our emotions have ups and downs. And sometimes we have to attack it in the same way where we just push through it. While we're pushing through those ups and downs, we are regulating our breathing like we do in breathing like we do in running and pacing ourselves and knowing that, you know what, it's okay to reach a challenge. It's okay to reach a trigger. It's okay to reach those obstacles because that is how we grow and how we learn and how we get better with life's challenges. It can be difficult. That doesn't make it easy. But if we change our mindset with how we anticipate and think about those challenges and triggers, it does help us when they come. And think of a challenge or a trigger as an invitation that you don't have to accept. Just because someone pushes your button does not mean you have to get angry when they pushed your button. You don't have to explode in that emotion. Just because they're trying to light your flame doesn't mean you have to turn into an emotional firework. You can choose how you want to respond. It may not feel that way. If someone says something that makes you angry, if someone says something that is offensive or insults you, insults somebody else that you know, it may feel like, okay, this is an invitation to make me angry. This is an invitation to make me sad or insulted or offended. I'm going to take it because I'm starting to feel that way because that trigger is telling me that I'm supposed to feel that way. If you stop and pause and take a breather, then you can stop yourself from experiencing that emotion that that trigger is telling you you should experience. You do not accept that invitation. You can say, you know what? My RSVP is no to that anger party. I am not going to do that. And the way we do that is by improving our emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? Being able to regulate your emotions, self awareness, understanding yourself and who you are and what tends to trigger you. If you know your triggers, it's easy to identify, oh, this is that trigger. This is that thing that's going to get to me, and be able to choose what road you're going to go down. And if you know that, then you can know and recognize the fork in the road. Am I going to go ahead and become angry because I know this is a trigger? Or I know this is the trigger that I'm working on. So I'm not going to go down that route and I'm going to try to practice being calm and practice my breathing so that I can regulate my emotions. And therefore, when you do that, you become stronger. Think about that invitation to become angry. It's easy to accept that feeling because that's what you're starting to feel. It's easy. And then what do you learn from what's easy? It's easy to run a race route that's only a mile, that's flat. Or for people who aren't runners, they're like a mile. It's not easy. It's easy to run across the street and that's it. But when you accept the challenge of running that race route, that's 6.2 miles, that's up that hill, you get stronger. So accept the challenge of not responding to something that might make you explode, not responding to something that might make you angry. You can do that. So that self-awareness as part of that emotional intelligence, that's very important. Be aware of yourself. What are your triggers? What gets to you? And empathy is a part of that emotional intelligence as well. Empathy is understanding someone else, why they might be thinking that way or doing that thing or saying that thing to you. Somebody might say, "Oh, you look good today." And that might actually trigger you to think, what do you mean I look good today? You trying to say I don't look good any other day? And the person's like, what? That's on you and your mind and your thoughts and what you are thinking. It always goes back to our mind and what we're thinking and our internal dialogue. So, what made you and your thoughts think, oh, they said I look good today? That must mean I don't look good other days. That means your thoughts were, I look ugly other days. I suck. I don't look well. That doesn't mean that's what they're saying. That means it's something that you need to work in on your mind. And once you change your thoughts and get beyond what you assume in your mind when they talk to you, then you are able to respond a different way. Or if someone says something like, someone gets angry at you on the road, road rage, someone else has road rage, just be having that empathy and thinking, okay, well, maybe they're in a rush. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they have had loss in their family. Maybe they're experiencing some mental illness. So, in anything that you are experiencing, that empathy will be able to help you understand other people's sides as opposed to how you're responding, understanding what they're feeling and why they might be thinking that way. Emotional intelligence is usually talked about when you're at work. And so I have a work experience where I was in training and a patient called me the N word. And usually it's easier to have emotional intelligence at work. You're thinking about where you're at and how you have to maintain professionalism. Think about the other side. That's really easy. So, of course, when that person said that, and I work with mental patients with mental illness, so automatically I have the empathy of, okay, they probably are really a racist, which is why they call me the N word, but they are mentally ill. They are stuck in the hospital and can't get out, and they are frustrated. And I really don't have to take it personal because, again, they're not necessarily mad at me directly. So I just went on and did my job as a psychiatrist and left the room and just went about my day. And if you find that it's easier at work for you to have the emotional regulation, why is that not the case at home? Why do we get more mad at loved ones than we would at work? You might find yourself, what we say, code switching. If you are at home, you're yelling at somebody, and all of a sudden the work line rings and you're, oh, hello, this is so and so, code switching. How are you able to do that? But you can't be that way to your family at home, the people who love you and you love. Sure, maybe it's because we're more vulnerable and we allow ourselves to experience every emotion, but still, think about that. Let's not do that at the risk of hurting them, the ones that we love. That strength and self awareness and empathy and emotional regulation that you have at work, do it at home as well. You have what it takes to regulate your emotions. You have what it takes to not let that trigger ignite your flame and turn you into an emotional firework. You're watching fireworks right now. Think about that. Look at those colorful fireworks. Well, we're not so colorful and beautiful when we let our emotions go extreme. We can lose relationships when we become emotional and let our fireworks just go. We can lose jobs, lose many, many things. And of course, I'm not exempt. I'm a human. I get stressed out and I'll get irritable at people, especially when, let's see, most people get stressed out or irritated when there's like a bill collector or somebody calling on the phone, or if There's like you get impatient when you're on the phone with someone, a telemarketer or someone that you really don't know, and you just kinda let it go. But what if that ends up being somebody you know? And then you didn't regulate your emotions. So it really does go back to that strength in the challenge, the resilience and learning how to resist the temptation to be angry, to go with what your feelings are what feelings are happening, right? Going against what you're feeling makes a world of a difference. And that's what balance is. That's what strength is. Going against the grain. So if you feel your heart racing, take a step back, close your eyes, think about your five senses, think about that happy place I talk about. Think about those positive affirmations and open your eyes and then respond. I do have a podcast episode coming up titled, "What Do I Need to Do in My Mind in Order to Not Cuss You Out?" Yes, exactly. That is true. Things come up where we want to cuss somebody out, and you can regulate that and you can control your response to a trigger. Enjoy your 4th of July and thanks for listening.